Okay, so we've got an IELTS Task 1 topic. So the question is analysing figures based on the flow of time. And we've got a table here. The table's giving information about sales of fair trade labelled coffee and bananas between 1999 and 2004 in 5 European countries. Summarise the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Okay, so this is a really key part of Task 1 is that you want to be comparing. So usually you're either comparing between countries, you're comparing between change over time, or you can compare between coffee and bananas. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the data. So we've got our list of same 6 countries, or same 5 countries rather. We've got the amount of sales in 1999, we've got the amount of sales in 2004. So let's look. So the UK is number 1 for coffee, and there's a huge increase, right? This is a really big increase from 1.5 to 20. Switzerland's second, and they've also got a big increase from 3 to 6, and then everyone else has got this much smaller increase. Okay, so that's kind of like you're thinking this is going to be my first comparison. We've got big increase, and then we've got small increase here. Okay, so you can compare between those. Then for bananas, Switzerland had this huge increase, and Britain had a sort of okay increase. And then Belgium had a little bit of an increase, and then Switzerland and Denmark actually decreased. Okay, so that's a significant trend to notice. Okay, we've got a decrease in Sweden and Denmark here. The UK and Switzerland are the biggest increases for both products. And then we've actually got a decrease down here. Okay, so those are some features. When I'm looking at that, this is what the things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the UK coffee. Okay, because that's pretty big. I want to talk about Switzerland in the bananas, okay, because that's also a huge change. I definitely want to talk about the decrease in bananas. And probably this one I can compare to the much smaller increases for everyone else. And then I can compare the huge increase with the decrease. Okay, so I've already sort of figured out what my 2 sections would probably be and like what my comparisons would be. Let's take a look and see what this candidate's done. The given chart illustrates, can we say chart illustrates? The given chart illustrate how the sales volume of fair trade label coffee and bananas changed in 5 European countries in the years 1999 and 2004. So did they change in the years 1999 to 2004? Fair trade label coffee and bananas changed in 5 European countries between the years 1999 and 2004. I think that's what I would say. I think that's a little bit clearer. Overall, according to the upper one, it is clear that all given countries underwent an increase of coffee sales over the period shown. We don't need a comma here. Overall, so when we do a comma, it means you're giving like a pause in what you're saying. So usually it's to take a breath, or it's at the end of a natural phrase or a natural clause. So listen to how I read this. Overall, according to the upper one, it is clear that all given countries underwent an increase of coffee sales over the period shown. Okay, so I don't need to naturally stop and take another breath there. But the way this candidate had the comma here, we say overall, according to the upper one, it is clear that all given countries underwent an increase of coffee sales over the period shown. This pause at the end is unnecessary, so we want to get rid of that comma. Okay, the reason that we pause here is because this is a little clause phrase, okay, and it's flexible and we can move it around the sentence. Okay, so we could say, according to the upper one, overall it is clear that all given countries, okay, we could even move this to the end. Overall, it is clear that all given countries underwent an increase of coffee sales over the period shown according to the upper table. Okay, so it's a clause because it can be moved around the sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. So that's why we bracket it with some commas, and that's why we need a bit of a pause. As for sales of bananas, while the figure for the upper 3 countries rose from 1999 to 2004, that for the remaining countries declined. Okay, I think that's fine. So they're sort of giving their overview section here, which is also always very important to put in your task 1, your overview section. So they've pointed out that everyone increases in coffees, and then we've got an increase and a decline for bananas. I think that's fine for an overview. So then we're going to go into detail, and this is where we're going to talk about specific country names. Okay, so this is where you bring in all the sort of detailed figures and numbers. You don't need to put any numbers necessarily in your overview. I like that they're just focusing on increases and decreases. I think that's fine. So examining this in closer detail, the UK saw the most significant change in sales of coffee, with more than a 13-fold rise from 1.5 million euros in 1990 to 20 million euros in 2004, whereas there was the smallest increase, only 0.2 million euros in Denmark and Sweden. Yep, I really like this sentence. It's a little bit long, so I was a little bit concerned about it, but they do have a lot of commas, and I think overall it's fine. If they did want to split here and create two different sentences, they could do, but I actually think how they've done it is okay. I like the use of the brackets, some good use of punctuation here. I like the use of the word a 13-fold. So 13-fold meaning 13 times. So it increased 13 times. So that's some good maths that they clearly did there. So yeah, I think that's a really strong sentence. Good grammar, good vocabulary, accurate description. So let's look at the last sentence. The figure for Switzerland doubled in 2004, and that for Belgium climbed by 0.7 million euros. Yep, so then they've given the details of it. We've got doubled, which of course means times 2, and then climbed by. So lots of different paraphrasing, lots of different vocabulary here. I think it looks really good. Let's look at the last paragraph. With regard to bananas, so this is a nice way to indicate that you're changing topic. With regard to bananas, the sales volume in Switzerland rose over 3 times to 47 million euros in 2004. The UK and Belgium also saw an upward trend. Okay, so don't forget trend is the noun. Okay, and upward is describing trend, so we need a determiner in front of a noun. By 4.5 and 3.4 million euros, respectively. Okay, again, use of respectively. This is quite sophisticated grammar, and I like how they've used that to show that the UK is 4.5 and Belgium is 3.4. So it's a nice use of that phrase. On the contrary, the figure for Sweden declined to €1 million and 0.9 million euros accordingly. Yep, the only thing you could have here is that we've got kind of similar information that there's the final score. So you could give the amount they declined by. The figure say declined by blah, 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 to 0.9 euros accordingly. Okay, so that was the only thing you might want to add in, because you've got two quite similar feeling sentences here. But overall, very clearly written. I don't have a lot of points to make about the grammar, because the grammar was pretty good. Vocabulary was also great. Task achievement I thought was very nice. So I probably want to give a 6.5 for task achievement. I probably want to give a 7 for cohesion and coherence. Lots of nice phrases and linking. Everything was very logical, nice paragraphing. Vocabulary, I probably also want to give a 7.0 because I thought the vocabulary use was very nice. They showed me lots of vocabulary. They showed me lots of different phrases. And the same for grammar. I mean, was there a couple of small mistakes and a couple of small missing words? Sure. But overall, they showed me that they're able to use a lot of different complex types of sentences. So things like this sentence here, where we've got this big long sentence, we've got lots of clauses going on. They're able to show me grammar like this. They're able to show me good use of commas here. And we've got nice contrasting sentences. I mean, overall, I thought their grammar throughout was very strong. And what they did is they showed very clearly their ability to use different types of complex sentences. So I think overall coming out a 7.0 for this task 1, and I think a really good effort, and this candidate should be very happy with what they wrote.